a trucker from Colorado who goes by the name of Rohel Aguilera Medeiros, and who happens to be 26 years old. He got convicted in October for vehicular homicide and other charges stemming from the April 2019 crash on I-70 by Denver, um, which resulted in that particular car pileup right then and there. Um, the sentencing was about a few days ago, and right now he's been sentenced for 110 years. 110 years in prison. In prison. And, a lot of people were talking about this on social media. Uh, yeah, they were talking about this on social media, that it was like a harsh punishment, and and people were saying that it is, this sentence, the judge was like being unfair, um, this, that, and the third, and it was just all over the place. And the thing I see about it, because I feel that what people's opinions about it have become way too far fetched on it, given given the fact that um, the guy was going at breakneck speeds in a semi. Now, understandably, the the brakes on his semi truck have failed, and when he was going downhill. But this particular story that that I've heard about, was literally far fetched from the very beginning. Uh, in a in a mountain range. Now, if you're going at like, now this guy was going, now suppose, from what I hear, this guy was going like 85 in a 45-mile-an-hour speed zone. Really, 85 in a 45-mile-an-hour speed zone, especially in a semi, that's really dangerous, for crying out loud. I mean, that's like really dangerous. You putting not only other people's life, not only his life in danger, but other people's lives as well. So, but he did get emotional in the courthouse, you know, while his sentencing was about to take effect. But I will say this, the crash ended up killing Miguel Angel Lamas Arellano, who was 24, William Bailey, who was 67, Doyle Harrison, who was 61, and Stanley Politano, who was 69. But Aguilera Medeiros basically was having a breakdown in tears. You know, during the sentencing, he was being very sorrowful and very apologetic when he was saying that he is not a criminal, he's not a murderer, and he looked at it. He was saying, like, when he was looking at his charges, they're talking about a murderer, but it's not him. Now, the district court judge by the name of Bruce Jones, he imposed a sentence after finding it was the mandatory minimum terms sent forth under the state of Colorado's law. So, in other words, he said it wasn't his sentence to begin with. Now, I will say this right here. I never had a CDL license or nothing like that. But I think it all boils down to common sense. I think it really boils down to common sense, because if you're going on a route, the first thing you got to do is obviously do a this thing called a pre-route check, just in case if there's any potential issues with your company vehicle. Because if the company vehicle was going to end up having failed issues beforehand, I mean, right then and there, then yeah, that may have been a problem. The second thing I find is this. Um, Even while the brakes might have supposedly failed, um, during the time this particular incident had happened, it could have been completely avoided had he gone in, had he pulled over to the shoulder and likely supposed to like stop, try to like put the emergency brakes on inside the semi, so it can be brought to safety. So that particular issue where his truck, his semi would collide into other vehicles, resulted in that fiery crash and pileup. I mean, I'm just saying right here. I mean, either now, if nothing could be done on that behalf, all I'm saying is just that he could have pulled over. So he could have gone off the exit. But problem problem is this. And then when you look at the incident beforehand, 85 85 mile an hour in a 45 mile an hour speed zone, that is a big red flag. Because even when you're doing commercial driving, I mean, common sense would say even when you're doing commercial driving, um, apparently you have to follow the rules of the road. So that was a big problem on him too, in my humble opinion. And but that's really what I have to say about this video. What are your thoughts? What are your comments on this? The link to the article will be in the description below. I am Chuck Johnson, a.k.a. Kid Thunder. You guys have a wonderful day.